Hey everybody, an official voice reveal. I don't like the sound of my own voice, so if you like it, you can keep it. We can trade, maybe talk about that. I have a lot of announcements to talk about, I have a lot of updates to let you guys know about, and instead of posting like a huge wall of text on all my socials that no one's ever going to read, I just decided to post this video. Maybe it's a little easier to, a little more easier to consume, digest, whatever. And let you guys know about what's going on without like, straining your brains or whatever. So here goes. Apologies if I'm a bit terse. I have a lot of things to talk about. I have a lot of things I need to get through, and I don't want this video being like an hour long. And I want to be like a little more restrained and professional. If you want me to elaborate and expand on a few things, just feel free to send me a direct message, and I'll get back to you. First things first, I don't want to get into too much detail. I'm actually a very private person online, and with all due respect, it's not really anyone's business but my own and the other people affected. But numerous loved ones of mine were going through some very trying times, and I was very much needed this Christmas to help them out, and I just wanted to keep my January open in case they continue to need my help. And things are better now. Things are starting to mitigate, so that's less of a issue. But just know that that was a factor in why I decided to take a break. Next up is the vast majority of my previous music that I've released under Iridium Music up until now. It's now on as many streaming platforms as DistroKid is gonna let me. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It's on iTunes. It's everywhere. I held back on doing this for a variety of reasons, but it's something that I generally saw as inevitable. It was going to happen anyway, so just bite the bullet now and get it done. And like as far as I know, the more platforms I'm on, the better everybody music will fare. So that's why I was spending like a long time, like the first like third of like the first 10 days of January I was doing. It was very tedious work. It was just a lot of repetitive tasks, and it took days and days to get done. But it's done now, and I'm glad it's done. So if you want to listen on your favorite streaming platform, Iridium Music is probably most definitely on there. Just a heads up, there are a couple of Christmas albums I didn't put on there, and this is out of an abundance of caution. Certain songs are not in the public domain. They are still copyrighted, but everything else you should be able to listen to just fine. Next up is a long time ago, in another lifetime, obviously before COVID, I used to, on a regular basis, I used to rap and sing, and I used to perform like 2 or 3 times a week, and it was a very fun experience. I genuinely loved doing it. For a variety of reasons, some obvious, some not so obvious. I decided that was something that I need to kind of leave behind and focus on other things, but I can't deny that how fulfilling it was for me to perform, and how a lot of other people really appreciate it. Like, it's not like the egotistical, narcissistic rap that you'd expect from like the mainstream hip hop industry. I tried to make sure it was like had a good message, it was uplifting, and it left the person feeling better, like walking away feeling better. And so I decided to revisit that material. I right now I'm on the fence. I'm debating whether to make a stylistic choice or not in regards to the vocals, but just I'm almost very certain that like as soon as the weather improves and as soon as like spring and summer rolls by, I'm almost certainly going to start trying to perform again. I'm not going to say my rap name here, and I'm not going to try and promote it here, because I want to keep my rap material and Iridium Music separate for a variety of reasons. But just know that's where some of my time has been going. Another reason why is I've jumped into producing. I started a new project that's exclusively producing, whereas like Iridium Music is building, composing a song from the ground up. This project is strictly about production and only production, and I'm gonna be saying this a lot for a variety of reasons. For a lot of reasons, I haven't been promoting it, I haven't been showcasing it, I have been telling people about it. But just know that this is also a thing that I'm doing and behind the scenes. This is also a thing that's ongoing that I'm doing. I've been regularly doing. I have been doing for a while, and this is also a place where some of my time is going. Now I know you're probably all wondering, what about Iridium music itself? And here I'm going to talk about what I want to do in the short term and what I want to do in the long term. In the short term, I've been going back and revising a couple projects of mine. One of them is Bittersweet, the other one is Backroads. Now, I'm a very rough, harsh, hardliner believer in the notion that if something's done, it's done. Don't waste your time in development hell. Don't work on something from now into eternity, because you will work on it for eternity if you allow yourself to and just get to a point where you're satisfied, get it done, get it out there, and get it over with, and leave it alone and let the cards fall where they fall. And that attitude has allowed Iridium music to exist, to be a thing. And I'm really grateful that I have that drive, because it allows me to work very comfortably and very happily into a very, very strict schedule that maybe a lot of other creatives wouldn't thrive in as much. However, like always, there's always exceptions to the rule, and one of those exceptions for me is when new technologies arise and when new ways of doing things reveal themselves, because at that point, going back and revising something it's rational, it's reasonable, because now you most certainly can do things now that you couldn't do then, and it's prudent to hone in on that opportunity. So thus, I decided to revise both the album Bittersweet and Backroads. Now, which ones are these? Well, for a refresher, Bittersweet, I released that in February 2 years ago. Not last February, but the February before. And it was sort of like a dark pop thing, and it was specifically meant to be like Y2K era type pop, late 90s, early 2000s, and it was very heavily inspired by the producer Max Martin and other producers like him. He would make these very, very lush, very vivid electric type pop songs, but with very dramatic, heavy elements in them as well for accent beats and whatever. And that's something I always love that sound. That's something I always appreciated, and I decided to make a similar sounding album as that, but more complex, I guess, more nuanced and complicated, and also potentially a lot more dark. Despite the fact that it's nominally pop music, I wouldn't say most of this pop music is radio friendly. But I was always embarrassed of this album. I always cringe when I listen to it again, and it's mostly because I use this new experimental vocal technology, synthetic vocal technology that, I'm probably not the only one who's thought of this, but I'd like to think that I invented it or stumbled upon it, and it worked really, really well. I had just done an Irish fantasy soundtrack thing before, and it works really, really well for cinematic fantasy type music. It does not work well at all for pop music and for more mainstream types of music like dance or rock or whatever. And I really tried hard to make it work, and it just bombed. It just sounds like two robots humming to each other. It doesn't sound like human voices. Thankfully now, however, there in the last year or so, there are new ways of replicating voices and having them sound like actual real people singing, like real voices singing to each other, singing words, singing notes, and conveying emotion. And it's just been very, very exciting. So what I did is I went back and I added actual real vocals to the album Bittersweet, and it went from something that I cringed at, I winced at, but I understood why I did it, to something that I am actually very genuinely proud of now. And I can't wait to show it to you guys, and and get your feedback on it. And it's just been a really good thing to experience. The other album is called Backroads. Backroads was a long time ago. It was one of my very first albums I ever released. It's like it was 3 years ago, like January of 2021. It was probably like my fourth or fifth album that I made, and it was just a melodic rock album. Right outside of high school, I joined a rock band. It was very inspired by the type of music that we played, and I was also very inspired by like local rock stars and songwriters. And I just created a rock album, and I loved it at the time. I still do, and I still go back and I still throughout the years went back and listen to it. But I very much intended it for a vocalist to be added to it, and I can't deny that there is some blank space in the music itself. There is a kind of a sense of emptiness there because there's just instruments chugging along playing chords and not much else. So I decided to use this new technology and add vocals to this rock album. And coincidentally, I released it during January, so I thought it was good. It was a good place to go back and revisit and redo and release it here now too. Now for the long term. I want 2024 to be an off year. Not that I'm going to be taking the whole year off, but I want 2024 to be sort of an oddball year, a year where I do things I didn't do previously that I probably normally wouldn't do previously. That I'm just trying new things and seeing how they go, and maybe it becomes a year that's not like the others, where it's not necessarily a standard Iridium music year, but it's definitely a year that needed to happen. There's three things I want to do for Iridium music this year. The first one is I want to experiment. I want to, like I said, I want to try new things. Iridium music has never shied away from trying out new technologies, trying out new elements, trying out like I do a new genre every music every month, like trying out a little bit of everything and seeing what works, seeing if it doesn't work, and if something is successful, great. I'm glad it is. If something isn't successful, then that's okay too. I learned from it, and there's gonna be some things that people might agree with, might not agree with, but I just know that Iridium music it's always been about trying new things, and I really do want to just keep on with that strain if I can. The second thing I want to do is go back and is correct some things, going back and correcting some things. Like I said, I went back and revised those two albums, and this ranges from maybe a few technical things that are quick fixes that might take a few hours to set right, and there are also some things that might take a little bit longer to set right. Like we're talking about maybe a few days to a few weeks of once again like tedious work, like I mentioned with getting everything on streaming platforms. But I mean, if there's something that's been nagging at my brain that I've been telling myself like I need to do, I need to get done, 2024 is definitely the time to get it done. Number three is I want it to be simple. I want it to be a little more stripped down than maybe some previous years. I do want to explore like singular instruments more. I love the stuff I did with the guitars. I love the stuff that one Celtic harp album I did. I really loved, with the exception of the Baroque harpsichord music. I'm not doing that again. That was just very complicated. It was very hard to write, and but I'm glad I got it done because now I know my chops. But yeah, I wanted to focus on maybe like some more like single instruments, maybe a few albums with a quote unquote power trio, which is just a bass, guitar, and drum set, which that's how a lot of rock bands operate, with just those three instruments. I also want to focus on like electric music, but electric music with only the four basic types of sound waves, which is sine, square, saw, and pad, and like just like they did in the old days. That's that's how like the in the retro days of like the 70s through 90s. That's how electric music was made. It was just with like a cheap Casio, and it didn't stop them from making great music. I'm relatively certain it won't stop me. And don't get me wrong, I love more than anybody the like rich, like sweeping orchestral suites that probably drew a lot of people to this to Iridium music, and I'm pretty sure you guys like them too, and I'm glad that you like them too. But like just where I am right now, it's just it can't be for every single song on multiple albums in a row like it has been in the past. Like I said, I like I gotta tone it down a little bit this year and have this be, like I said, a little bit of an off year. Now, I do want to talk about some changes that I'm going to be making at Iridium Music. For one, I'm going to call it sunsetting. I will be sunsetting my official Facebook page. I'm not going to be outright deleting it, but I mean, as anybody who knows me in real life knows, that years and years ago, I sort of just raged quit Facebook. I left in a very, I left in a very angry way. I just kind of sort of stomped out in a very bitter, very acrimonious way, and I don't love the notion that I'm I'm still tethered to it in some capacity. So if you want, like it's still gonna stay up. Everything that's on there is gonna still be on there. It's just I'm just not going to update it anymore from here on out, and it's just gonna be kind of a bit of an archive. And if you want to reach me there, you can still reach me there. It's just it's gonna be out of sight and out of mind. So yeah, I'm going to be sunsetting Facebook. I've thought about doing the same for SoundCloud. I'll give SoundCloud another year. We'll wait and see. Uh, and like maybe I have been recently getting more and more traction on SoundCloud. So, but I'm not sure if that's organic or if it's just a bunch of bots, a bunch of girl bots, as I like to call them. But yeah, I just with SoundCloud I have a wait and see attitude. So, uh, like maybe I'll just leave it. Maybe I won't. But yeah, like I said, just wait and see. Another change I want to talk about, and this is not so comfortable to talk about, and take with it what you will. But I'm going to be changing the way I do things with the release of my actual music. Up until now, I've been releasing things in staggered releases. Like I've been releasing them on my Patreon, previously Patreon, and now it's locals. I switched to locals. That was another change I was going to do around this time, until Patreon kind of screwed my finances up. But that's neither here or there. Yeah, like up until recently, I've been releasing things on behind a paywall, and then after a month, releasing it to the public. And like I started out this thing very idealistic, very wide-eyed, very optimistic, and maybe not the most business savvy. And I now know that like having that business model is a very bad way of running something, because why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? Why pay to listen to music a month early when you could just wait a month and just listen to it for free? And so what I've decided to do is I've decided to release what I call singles, which that means every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I'll be releasing for free immediately. I'll be releasing a song from the theme of the month's album, and like one song, and then keeping the rest behind a paywall. Now I just want to talk directly to my fans, my supporters. First off, thanks for letting me take this break off. Thanks for your understanding in the situation. I'm just gonna ask for just a little bit more. First thing I want to ask for is your patience. I I can't be this musical everyman that I have been. I can't be firing off all on all cylinders 24/7. Um, as you probably know, like there's a lot that I'm doing. There's a lot of other responsibilities I have to take care of with just music and not just life in general. So I'm just gonna ask for a little bit of patience. Next thing I'm gonna ask is for open mindedness. Um, we're living in an era of just a new era of just new burgeoning creative technologies, and it's something that I'm very excited for. It's something that I'm very awestruck by. Like I'm super grateful that I'm living in a time and place where this is happening, and I just like I said, I just want to try new things. I want to do it. I want to take it. I want to see what I can make with it. I want to see what kind of beautiful new things I could do with these new technologies, and there are some things that might be successful and some things that won't. And there are some things that you might agree with and there are some things that you won't. And that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely you're right. But I would just ask for like the space and the breathing room to just at least be able to try it. Just try. Like I said, Iridium music has always been about trying new things. Thirdly, I'm just gonna ask for your support. Like talk to me. Send me a chat. Send me a comment. Like give a like, give a dislike, whatever. Tell me what you liked about something. Tell me what you didn't like about something, and maybe I can keep that in mind uh, and keep it in store just in case for the future. It is a little bit disheartening when I see a video has like maybe dozens, perhaps hundreds of views, and like no likes or dislikes, and like I just it's not believable to me that everybody who's ever seen that video just feels completely neutral about that video and all in unison. So I if I'm doing something that you agree with, that you appreciate, I want to keep on doing it. So let me know then. If I'm doing something that you're not like really all that cool about, that you don't that you personally dislike, also tell me that so I can learn not to do that in the future. And so I can like grow as a songwriter and as a producer and overall musician. And yeah, so let's just have a little bit more of a conversation. The last thing is just also if you can just please if you can like support me officially on locals.com. I started out Iridium music like months after I like literal months after I graduated from college with a degree in music, and I was very wide-eyed. I was very idealistic about this thing. Like I'm a font for music. I love creating music. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. And I like to think that I've broken it down to a science, and I sort of mastered the art of creating like the most quality music as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And just don't get me wrong. I really do love creating music, and if I could do it from now until the heat death of the universe, just creating music over and over again, just being a complete font of music, then I would. But I can't deny that it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes money. And I'm only human. I have a finite amount of hours in a day. I have a finite amount of energy that I can expend, and I and when I can do it, like opportunities to find out is finite too. So I was just it would just be very nice if I could get something back. If I could just get a little something back when I do so. And that's just it would just it would be something that I would really appreciate it, and it would just be something that would really do a lot to keep this thing going and keep Iridium music going. If you could be an official supporter, so it's just something to think about. Anywho, I think it's probably time I wrap this video up. Like I said, I didn't want to be rambling on and on. And I didn't want this to be like a like an hour long video. So I'm gonna bid you adieu. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm gonna say goodnight and for now. And See you later. Thanks for listening, and check out some of my music, whatever tickles your fancy, and I hope you guys take care. Okay, bye.